Welcome to the How Did Show, where interesting people answer the questions, how did I get here? And how in the hell did I get here? With your host, Donovan Corneets.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The How Did Show. And we got a real special one for you today. So check this out. My guest has a voiceover career that many would be envious of. He's voiced projects for Cartoon Network, TV One, BET, Fox, and FS1, just to name a few. And he's currently the national voice of ESPN Radio, damn, Monday Night Football, damn, and the NHL, damn. And as if he isn't busy enough, he also has a popular show on Sirius XM Radio's Heart and Soul station. So y'all show some love for my dog, Cayman Kelly. What's going on,
Yes,
man?
sir. Everything is well, man. Thanks for having me, my brother.
Man, it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. Yeah, man, we're gonna jump right into it because I'm just happy to have you on the show. I'm really excited about this. So yeah, man, this is the How Did Show. So
How did show?
Yes, exactly. So right off the bat, I want to know, how did you get here? So answer the question, how did I get here?
Man, sometimes I sit back and wonder, how in the world did I get here? You know, first of all, I'm going to say this, man, because there's so many branches to my journey. And I started off young. So I was in a music group, right? And I was doing the music. So first of all, my mom wanted me to play the piano, but back then all you saw was women playing the pianos. I was like, I don't want to play the piano. So we had a piano in the house, and I actually taught myself how to play the piano. So here I am years later doing music with a good friend of mine.
Okay.
We were doing like local cable shows and stuff like that. And then one day he calls me. He said, man, I'm about to be on the radio. Turn it on. So I turned the radio on, and this dude is on there rapping about a scavenger hunt contest that they were doing on the radio station.
Okay.
So from there, the guy that was on the air, his name was Albie D. He invited us to the radio station. So my dad drove us up, and the production guy was like, he said, man, how old are you with the voice like that? And I said, 15. He said, read the script for me. So I read this little commercial thing, right? I have no idea what voiceovers or anything is, but just that experience of being at the radio station, it was so much fun to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do right here.
Yeah.
I already love music. And people would always say, man, you need to do something with your voice. You know, first of all, I used to get teased about my voice.
Really?
Growing up. Absolutely, man. People like, what's up, Lurch?
Yeah, I used to get the Barry White stuff, but I remember getting, like, when my voice changed a little bit, I was a late bloomer. Somewhere around like 13, 14, my voice just changed, like, literally almost overnight. And people like thought I was my sister, and then people thought I was my dad, like within 48 hours. And I used to hear the same thing. Oh man, you should do something radio. I was like, I don't really.
But you know, it's so funny, man, because it's such a misconception that people have. Just because you have a voice, they think you can do certain things.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than just a voice for radio and voiceover.
Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, that's the way that I got in. So it's funny because my path and me just thinking about doing radio all of this time. I went to college. I did radio in college. I kept the contact at the radio station where I started, and I went back. And I'm going to tell you how funny thing is, but this shows how important a network is as well. So I kept contact with the receptionist. Her name was Agnes. And Agnes said,
Agnes.
Shout out to Agnes. That's my girl. We've been friends for a number of years and still talk to this very day. And this was 94. So that's how long ago this was. I called Agnes. And, you know, getting out of college, of course, you start the process of looking for a job. Nothing was materializing. So Agnes said, we're doing a job fair tomorrow. I want you to meet us at the station. You can just ride with us. We're leaving at blah, blah, blah time. Man, I got there early.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the parking lot like, where is everybody? So I know they had to leave me. And I'm like, what in the world? Bro, here we go again.
Yeah, they got me.
So instead of wasting a trip, I went to the door, picked up the little security phone, and ironically, Albie D was on the air. So he said, come on up. I come up and talk to this guy. He said, man, I don't have a job to give you, but I do need some help on my show. It'd be a great way to get your foot back in the door.
Okay.
I said, cool. So I started helping him every day, no payment, but people would see me and see my work ethic and wonder, who is that guy right there? So, I did a whole lot of things that I didn't necessarily want to do, like moving chairs back over to the hotel and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
and nothing
putting in
to do
that grunt work, paying your dues.
And putting in that grunt work. So look, here's another funny story. I taught school for a little while. It takes a special individual.
Oh, patience, man.
Oh my gosh, man. It was the worst. And I think I was so close to their age that they had no respect whatsoever.
Yeah. Like, bro, you're like 5 years older than us, man. Get out my face.
I was trying to supplement that income.
Yeah.
And after school, I was just a substitute, so I can control my own schedule.
Right.
So I would go to the station after I left the school, right? So one day I come in, there's a guy sitting in my chair. And I'm like, who is this dude? So I just quietly kind of sat over in the corner. Because I was quiet, until I went to college. So I always had, you're too timid, those type of comments on my report card. So I just kind of sat in the corner like, dang, who is this dude right here about to take my space?
Yeah.
Because mind you, I couldn't be an intern because I already graduated. So I'm just volunteering. Yeah. And I heard the intern coordinator come in and he whispered something to the dude. He said, there's a job opening over in promotions. I suggest you go back and drop your name. So as soon as I heard that, I went too.
Yeah.
We went to a street hit the next day. And all that timidity, that stuff went out the window, man.
Out the window. Yeah.
Out the window. I said, I got to beat this dude. I want this job. So he was quiet too. So, game recognized game. I saw the introvert. And I said, okay, I'm going for it. I'm in everybody's car. Hey, how you doing today? Passing out stuff. Right. And I got a chance to call into the radio station and do, the call in from the street.
Right.
So they said, we want to offer you the job. This is the next day, right? So come on in and fill your papers out. Donovan, I went in there and the dude took this paper. He wrote this little figure down and he flipped it around and showed it to me like that. And I looked at it and I said, what's that for? Right. He said, it's for the year. It was $6,000 and some odd dollars for the year.
Wow.
Which equated to
Big
$6
baller.
an hour. Man, come on, bro. A college grad, $6 an hour at a top 10 market radio station.
Yeah.
But that was 4 hours a day.
Okay.
It wasn't even like a complete 8 hours, but you worked all day long, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I took it because I knew there had to be a starting point for something, So I said, okay, I'm gonna make this work. And that lasted for about a year. I learned how to run the board. And then one day, while I'm at the station, the big boss comes. He said, hey man, you want to work? And I said, yeah. So, I'm thinking I'm at work. So you had to answer,
like, what you mean?
Yes, I should be working.
So, like, this is a trick question, man. Like,
right. So as soon as I said yes, this dude said, all right, go home and get some rest. You're on the air tonight. What?
Yeah, that's like exactly on what air? What you mean?
Hey, bro, I was on the air that night, 2 to 6 in the morning.
Wow.
But I ain't getting no rest, though. I went to Circuit City, bought me some new headphones.
Shout out Circuit City back in the day. You youngins don't know nothing about Circuit City.
Right, you don't know nothing about Circuit City.
That's what's up, man. So you had to just like prepare a show? Like, did you just say, you know what, I'm gonna just get on and play some music and talk to the people?
I got on, man. And the funny thing, when I plugged those headphones up and I started talking in the mic and I heard myself, I was like, damn, I kind of paused because I wasn't used to doing that,
Yeah, you're not used to hearing what you sound like to other people.
Right. But
like, damn, I do sound good. I know what they talking about.
But listening back, it was oh gosh, man. I grew a lot from those days.
Well, of course. I mean, you got, I know you have a very storied, very successful voiceover career, but what was your first demo sounding like?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something funny that you brought that up. When I was in college, I recorded a radio imaging demo. I had no idea what it was, but that was my first introduction to voiceover. Okay. Seeing Dr. Dave, he was already doing it, because I saw him record voiceover on a reel-to-reel. It was little reels, and then he would put them in a box and put them in FedEx packages. This was no internet. There was no internet back then. And he was the one that always told me, you need to do something with your pipes. But here I am, a teenage boy. All I thought about was being on the air. I didn't know anything about voiceover.
Right.
And every time I said, what I need to do? He would never tell me what I needed to do.
You just need to do something.
You need to do something. Like, you should give it a union or something like that. And I'm like, okay. So And we got competition to the radio station. And the first thing they did was start making all these changes, right? So they was like, we want Cayman to be the voice of the station.
Okay.
So they said, come in tomorrow and we're going to try it. And of course, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do. So, like the way I heard it was not the way that they heard it.
Right.
It was like, no, you're not ready yet. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't care, but I wish I had started like years ago.
Yeah.
And I finally got on the air. Yeah, man. I mean, this lifestyle is just amazing what you're able to accomplish.
Yeah, man, for sure.
You have to be ready for it too, though.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge point, because I know that people follow both of us as far as like in the voiceover community. And we get asked a lot about, how we got to where we are, or how'd you book that, or, oh, I would love to be able to do that. And I think the huge lesson from all of that is like, you can't jump into it before you're actually ready for what it takes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that means like the training, the coaching, the practice, the home studio setup, the top-notch demo. And yes, you can kind of wing it, but nowadays, with how many people are trying to do it, as popular as voiceover is now, like I remember even when I started, and this was in like 04, 05, you would still say like, oh yeah, voiceover. Like, well, what's that? Like people had no clue. But now you're like, voiceover. Oh, I got an aunt that does that. Oh, I got a cousin that wants to do it. Hey, let me get your number, because my son said he wants to do it. But when I first started, no one knew what it was.
Right.
And so back then, yeah, you could probably get away with, kind of creeping in a little bit, kind of learn as you go. But nowadays you gotta get that training in. You gotta actually know the business of it. That's the other part that people don't understand. Like, this is a business. You are running basically a company, right? A sole proprietorship company. But yeah, man. So how did that parlay itself into you being on the air at Sirius XM?
Oh man, that's a long history. So that goes kind of
give us the Cliff Notes version.
That goes kind of back and forth. The radio days and the voiceover days kind of correlate with each other.
Okay.
So what happened was, after I left, I got fired, like from my first gig. It was about a year. And I remember I went home and I told my dad, I said, man, I think I picked the wrong thing to do. Because, it was like those days when I'm just working and I don't have no money.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Like, I've been at work all day and I got nothing to show
all day
for it.
long, and I ain't got no money. I mean, like, I could tell when pennies was missing off my check. That's how small the check was. And
23 cents. What the hell?
Hey, bro, I remember some days like literally like going in the ashtray, getting the change out so I could get me some gas.
Under the couch cushion. I'll never forget. I was at my mom's house, like, it's got to be. Hey, jackpot. Is that a quarter? Hell yeah. A quarter, that might as well have been $100 bill. Like,
I'm trying to tell you, those days were
I remember those days, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So start there. Then I get fired. I go to the competition station and I start making a little money. I was there for about 6 years. Then I hooked up with this attorney to negotiate my contract, right? So she looked at my contract. Her house looked like a damn museum, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm walking in her house like, damn.
Yeah.
She said, have a seat. I ain't even want to sit down. It was so nice.
Am I allowed to sit on this?
So I sit down. She started looking at my paperwork, Donovan. She said, She said, I don't even know how you're going to pay my retainer.
Yeah, you can't even afford me, sir.
So she believed in my potential. So she worked with me.
Okay.
And then fast forward, one day she calls me and she said, there's an opportunity for you at BET. I want you to go over there. When can you go? And I used to self-sabotage myself so much, man. I was scared of change. I didn't want to change. And I said, I'm really busy this week. So maybe next week on Thursday or Friday, I'll be able to go. She said, all right, I tell him you'll be there tomorrow. She knew I was lying.
Yeah, she's like, damn well, you got nothing
you
to
ain't
do.
Got nothing
I just saw your contract. You broke. You ain't got no job. If you don't get your ass. No, kudos to the lawyer for being like, yeah, whatever, dude. You'll be there tomorrow.
She saw right through it, man. So I go over and I do the interview. Interview went well, but it was like months before I got this job.
Okay.
So it came open. I go to BET. They were providing third-party content for XM, which was a new technology.
Right, right.
That lasted for a year. But while I was there, we would meet with creative services people. So, and I'm sitting in there. So I started getting to know people, and then they would come to me, can you voice this for us? And I'm like, yeah. So I started voicing stuff for them. The next thing, when they kept coming back, I said, man, y'all got to pay me for this stuff.
Yeah.
They said, hey, how much? And I just shot a figure out. It was like, all right, cool. And I was like, damn, I should have asked for some more.
I should have asked for, I should have doubled it. Look, we've all had those. Hey, how much would you charge for this? This much? Okay. Like, dang. I need him to be like, well, that's a little high. Like, okay. Then I'll do it.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's how my voiceover career was actually birthed.
Wow.
And then that went defunct within a year's period. But I was still doing the voiceover thing. And I didn't even realize what I was doing. So I was like, damn, I'm crying over this job that would give me a check every couple of weeks. But now I got this.
Right.
And it's so funny how life just kind of pans out. It's like a puzzle, man. You start to see, oh, okay. So now I went here for this to connect to this piece right here.
Right.
So here we are doing voiceovers now. And I was able to sustain myself, even though I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
And that's when the grind started, because I wanted to do more. And now I'm married. My wife and I had a house built. I tell you, man, I literally spent the night in the house and got the call from the attorney the next day, like, your job is about to fold up. And I had one more check. So I'm like, oh my God. I spent so many nights crying. Yeah. Because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I was like, damn, I'm married now and I got to pay for this house. Like, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
I spent plenty of nights in the basement crying. Like, oh my God. I mean, literal tears, bro.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, there's something about that desperation, that fear, that'll drive you to do some amazing things, man.
I'm trying to tell you that
I got laid off from a job I had, and that's how my full-time VO career got started, man. Because I had actually had a job, like a 9-to-5 that I loved. Most of the other jobs I had, truth be told, hated the job, hated the work I was doing, but I actually really loved this job. I was a sound designer at a video game studio. And they had like a VO booth in there, and like they were, hey, if you need it on off hours to use for auditions or gigs, like whatever, as long as they don't interfere with what you need to do, you can use it. I was like, man, this is heaven. Are you kidding me? Plus, I was making more money there than I had ever made anywhere else. Yeah. Like a salary, health coverage, all that stuff. And then just show up to work one day. The investors pulled out. You're going to have to clean out your desk by 1 p.m. today, like on payday. No direct deposit, no nothing. Married, had my oldest son was 6 months old. It's like, all right, what you going to do, man? And from there, I haven't looked back. That was in 2010. That was spring of 2010. And I've been doing this thing full time since then. So yeah, man, it's nothing like, what the hell am I going to do to make you figure out what you're going to do?
Bruh, that's a real life lesson right there. It forces you to unlock your potential.
Yeah.
It's there, but when you don't have anything else to lean on, you got to get it going.
Hand, man.
You got to get it going. So I spent so many nights. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You spent so many nights?
Yeah, I was just going to say I spent so many nights looking for people to help me. And there was nobody to help. And, I got to say, I admire you for what you do, because you're willing to help other people. I'm in the same space, because people be like, man, would you help me? I'm sure I help you, because I don't believe that you can take anything from me that belongs to me.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
That's my thing. So, I spent all these nights in the basement Googling. I could never find anything. And then I found this guy named Ed Green. He had an audition on his website. He was a big voiceover artist. He did trailers and all kind of stuff, right? So he was offering a class. And I did this audition on the phone, and I was already in the space like, he's not going to call me back.
Right.
Like all these negative thoughts all the time. And I knew I had talent, but I didn't really believe in myself.
Right.
So he called me the next day, Donovan, and I kept listening to this message like, this dude called me.
Yeah.
So when I called him back, and I swear to you, we talked on the phone for like 40 some minutes, and he was just beating up everything that I was doing. Everything. He was like, I could tell you're black. You don't use your tongue and your teeth. You don't pronounce your words. You cut everything off at the end. He said, and you hold your breath while you talk. And I said, really? And then I'm going, I do hold my breath when I talk.
Damn, I didn't realize. And you overweight. Like, wait a minute. How do you know? Wait a minute. Your feet stink. Like, damn it, sir.
But you know how he knew? And I'm going to tell you, when he pointed it out, I realized it, because what I did, I was doing a slow jam show when I was on the radio.
Okay.
So in order to talk like that, you you gotta hold your breath and you
The
get up on the
quiet
microphone and
storm.
right, exactly.
Goes out
So
to
you
all the
growl on the mic
ladies.
and I'm holding my breath because
Yeah.
that's the way I heard it. And he
Right.
said, damn it. He said, I don't know whether you realize or not, but you got a deep voice. All you got to do is talk.
That's all
Just
you
open
gotta
your
do.
damn mouth and talk.
Yeah.
And he worked with me. And
It takes somebody to just see that potential in you and say, you know what? I see the potential. You just don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's work on that. So that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's real good. Look at you now, sir. Look at you now. I mean, come on, man. Voice of ESPN Radio. I actually shared the honor. I did Monday Night Football for one season a few years back.
Oh, really?
It was a dope gig through ESPN. And yeah, so, and you know, I do a lot of work with BET as well. So I feel like we had a lot of parallels, man. It's truly is an honor, man, to know you, man. Like we met at that radio, it was like a radio summit.
Summit. Yeah,
and ever since then, man, we've been tight, and I've always appreciated your support, man. That's truly appreciate it, man. It's been an honor.
Likewise, man.
So real quick, before we get into the next part of the show, change gears a little bit. So I know all on your social media and on your radio, you have interviewed like all kinds of people of different levels of stardom and popularity. Is there a time you can remember being starstruck where you almost like broke your professionalism because you're like, oh my goodness, so-and-so is right here in my studio? Has that ever happened?
I don't think so.
Oh, look at it, man. Too cool for school.
Look, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, like early on, I'm gonna tell you one time when I kind of geeked out a little bit, but this was way before Sirius XM. I was on the I don't even think I was on the air yet, but I found a picture the other day and I had this lady's hat. She put her hat on my head. Okay. And she had this 11 karat diamond on her finger. It was 11 carats, 1 stone. And she took it off and let Agnes that I was talking about, she let her put it on her finger. I would never trust nobody with no damn 11 carats.
Yeah, that's
so her. Let me see if you can see her picture on my wall. She's like right there in the corner.
Patti LaBelle?
Patti LaBelle, baby. She came in, man, and I said, damn, my mama listened to Patti LaBelle. And she was like the sweetest lady. And we've been friends, not since then, but you know, since we came up. And when I got on satellite radio, I got a message one day. I wasn't even using social media like that. But I saw a tweet notification come up on the front of my phone. Like, Patti LaBelle's listening to your show, play some Patti LaBelle. And I'm like, what is this? This ain't legitimate.
Like, this is random as hell, whatever.
Right. And then when I looked at it, it was the dude that's always with her, Big E. Shout out to Big E. He sent me the message.
Okay.
And since that day, man, Patti, I took my mom to a Patti LaBelle show. We sitting right down by the station. I'm about to come out and grab you. I got chance to introduce her to Patti. She shouted my mom out on stage.
Wow.
She's talked about me at a couple. I'm like, what in the world?
She made you a pie.
You know, every time I see her, she say, you're going to come over and have dinner. She ain't made me nothing yet, man.
I was going to say, you be like, well, let's go now. Like, I need some mac and cheese. I'm going to need that sweet potato pie.
Exactly. But I haven't. She gave me a sweet potato pie. But she never baked me a sweet potato pie. It was one of the ones that everybody else can buy.
Come on, Patti. The man of pie.
What's on here, Gorilla Glue?
Oh, man, that's great. Now, you know what? I could say that would definitely be something I would remember, having Patti LaBelle's hat on my head and seeing 11 karat diamond. A
living legend on top of that. I think it's the icons that do it for me. I met Isaac Hayes in the hallway one day.
Okay.
He was standing there like looking at a glass, right? Because we got in XM Studios that's in DC, we got this glass. It looks like the Star Trek Enterprise. So everybody, like when they get off the elevator, it's like, oh. And I saw him gazing in there. So I walked up to him and I started singing on the side of him, right? I said, suck on my chocolate salted ball holes.
Put them in your mouth.
Put them in your mouth and suck them. Man, he fell out.
Oh, that's cool.
He said, man, all the times I've met people, nobody has ever come up to me and start singing Chef.
Yeah, salted chocolate balls. You know what? I still randomly find a reason to just like chocolate balls. Suck them. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. But look, all right, that's man. We could talk about this kind of stuff all day, but we gotta move on to the next phase of the How Did Show, and that is spinning the
wheel of what?
So let's bring this bad boy out right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin this thing.
Any money on the wheel though?
Say what?
Money? Do you have a money slot on the wheel?
There's no big money slot on there. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
But we are gonna spin it, and whatever it lands on, you gotta answer truthfully. All right.
All right.
All right. Let's do this thing. World record. Okay. So what this is, if the Guinness Book of World Records was going to hit you up, what is something that you feel you could set a world record in?
Oh my gosh, Donovan. That requires going to bed and sleeping on it.
Now, it doesn't have to be something that is like an official thing, but what's something that you could say, like, you know what? If it was, I don't know, eating the most hot dogs on 4th of July or something crazy, what would be something you think you could set a world record for? Even if
I think I could set a world record for staying up the longest.
Really? So just not sleeping, huh?
Yeah. I got that naturally though, man. I don't know what it is. I think it might be like creative brain problems.
Yeah.
I can't rest. Off. It never shuts off. So I think I could really stay up for like some days. I could get a world record for that. Oh yeah.
So what's the longest you've stayed up? You can remember.
Thinking right offhand, probably like 4 days.
4 days. You know that's like not healthy.
It's not, and that was like early radio career. The grind was real, man. It was like promotions. Then the next day it was like all of these things to do. Then it was like this big concert one night, and I'm gonna tell you, as soon as you sit down, it's like you got a button on your ass. You just cut off.
Got that ass button. Look, I remember like that reminds me of, for some reason during finals week when I was in college, I always had insomnia during finals week. I was fine any other time. And I had a roommate who, he was one of these people like could fall asleep like this, music on, lights on, TV on. And he just, I needed like pitch black, silent, like I gotta be warm, like the whole thing. And, but finals week, man, it was just like, I'm wired. I'm playing like Mario Kart on the GameCube just to like give my brain a rest, studying and writing papers and like down in Mountain Dew to stay up. But then it's like you're fired up, and then it's like you can't come down from it. Now, like you said, your brain is shutting off. Did I do enough? Did I do this? And I never forget one time I was desperate. I think it had been like 2 days. I think it was like 2 straight days of being up. And my wife, but my girlfriend at the time, she had Ambien, and she was like, I have this Ambien for when I have insomnia, like try Ambien. I was like, all right. And I'm like, all right, well, look, I need to get at least this amount of sleep because I got to take a test, man. Like I got a final at, whatever, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I said, I ain't slept in 2 days. Like I'm going to pass out in the middle of the test. Like you said, I want that ass button to go off right as soon as I get the Scantron, and I just and failed the whole damn semester. So I was like, damn, all right, let me get this. So I took it because she said, take it. It'll take about an hour or so to kick in. I was like, all right, I'm going to take it at like 9. I'm trying to get full sleep. 1 a.m. I'm like this. This some bull. I said, I'm going to take a second one. Like this, I'm going to take a second one because this ain't working. Like I took this thing 4 hours ago or whatever. So I took a second one. It was probably about midnight. I think I took a second one about midnight. Nothing, dude. Nothing. I was just like, started watching TV. I was like reading, trying all the stuff I could to like get sleepy, drowsy. When it hit me?
Right when
on the way to the test, like walking from my dorm to the building, and it was like, oh damn. And now I'm like, oh snap. And I'm not a big coffee drinker, but coffee me. I had to, and I literally was just sustaining myself and my eyes open on pure caffeine, and like the pain that I felt from not sleeping kept me awake almost, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
My exhaustion kept me awake. When I got back to the dorm, whatever time it was, like maybe close to noon, dude, I think I slept like 13 hours straight. It was glorious. It's one of those, you wake up and you don't even know like what day it is.
Right. You
what
don't know
time.
where you are.
Like, who am I? Where am I? So I can feel that, but like on a regular basis, that's wild, man. So you're setting the staying up worker. And you know what? That's valid,
I don't
man.
do it too much anymore. Well, that's a lie. Because I mean, I try to force myself to go to bed. And usually I could get in there about 10 or 11. But you know, you got kids and you juggling, because my daughter will be 18 next month.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And, you know, everybody, she doesn't drive. So it's like driving everybody where they need to be. And it's a grind.
Yeah. You're just always on, man. Always
on. And then my youngest, well, my middle boy, he plays basketball. So he practiced till 10 o'clock at night.
Games.
Yeah.
I feel you, man. Yeah, I got two boys and they're a little bit younger. They're 12 and 9, but yeah, it's like, it's always something. One is in band, one is playing basketball, and it's like, oh goodness. Yeah. Plus, you know, working.
Yeah. And I work at night too. So, you know, it's always something.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's just one of those gigs that just don't ever cut off, you know, because somebody was asking me, what hours do you work? And I'm like, I don't have any set hours.
Like 24?
You know, because
24
yeah,
hours.
you know, because especially like when you do a radio show, I don't have a producer that helps me. So it's like constantly preparing for the next day. You know, like I'm looking at news. Oh, that's an interesting story. I'm jotting notes,
right?
You know, just so I can have content to pull from and talk. And that preparation is like a 24-hour process. It never stops.
So that's it, man. You the world record stay upper. I don't even know what to all right. On that note, let's move to the second half of the show. How in the hell did I get here? So this is a story about an event, an occurrence, something that went on that made you say, Cayman, how in the hell did I get here? What do you got?
Shoot, I got a whole bunch of them. How in the hell? You know, let's rewind back to the very beginning of my radio career when I first got on the air. Now I was on the air and I was still working promotions during the day. How in the hell did I get here doing all of this for this little bit of ass money? That's
so I'm gonna tell you.
And I was just sharing with my sister yesterday, and I said, you know, it leads you to a place, just like you said, when you're in certain situations, it forces you to unlock your potential. So I got really, really creative.
Okay.
And you know, the big thing for people when you went out to do promotions, it was tickets and T-shirts.
Right.
So I would take the T-shirts, put them in the back of in the truck and hide them, right? That's how I ate. They was like money. So I would go to the drive-through, pass the speaker, pull up to the window, and they'll look out. They'll be like, oh, what you got? I said, what you got? So I would use them T-shirts so I could eat. I ain't had no money.
You was hustling meals and T-shirts?
Was hustling. Hey, bro, I had to hustle.
Like, I got 2 tickets. What you got on that number one supersize, baby?
Come on, bro. That's how I ate. So, you know, like, and I would have never thought, thinking back from a youngster and being a grown up, because I was a college grad, and I'm like, how in the hell did I get here? So it's like
trading T-shirts for food. What in the world? I done did something wrong.
That's what I'm telling you, man. Them conversations I used to have with my dad, and I remember him still telling me, he said, son, one day you're going to look back at this and laugh. Yeah. And I said, damn, I'll be glad when it get funny, because this show ain't funny right now. You know, like when you
can't wait to laugh.
You just never see it ending. I'm like, what is this? Like, why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look, I get it. I truly get it. I stayed with a friend that worked at a fast food restaurant. Like, all right, look, when we close, you pull around to the, man, you get like the all day nuggets that's just been sitting there. No lie. There's a buddy of mine can vouch for this when he watches this. But this is back when I lived in New York, and we had a buddy that worked at Wendy's. And we went when they were closing. He's like, look, when we're closing, like, come on. We was all gonna like hang out, watch some basketball or video games, whatever it was. We had like a guys' night playing, and we all young, broke. And we were like, cool. So we pull up, no lie. This dude has, like, you know, the bag that they would put other stuff in, full of nuggets. Like, you probably talking like 60 nuggets, dude. Like, just, but they're old, like some of the kind of dry, just old nuggets. and then like a little bit of fries was in there. And I'm gonna tell you how long ago this. Remember when Wendy's used to have chili chips and cheese? Do you remember that?
Yes, sir, I do.
So we had about 6 or 7 of those because remember they came in a little prepackaged thing.
Oh,
and man, when I tell you, and then we got some drinks, and we went back to like we ate like kings. Are you kidding me, man? We probably had like a gallon worth of dipping sauce because it was like full, and literally 3 of us probably ate like 65 nuggets, chili chips and cheese, and it was like, you know what? This is life. We didn't pay for any of this. And
right.
Look, I
free.
get it, man. But
better savings than free.
I would have like, look, man, hustling t-shirts and tickets. You know what? Like, I like that though.
Hey,
look,
you better be creative, or you gonna starve.
I was gonna say that hunger. We go back to hunger and make it get real creative. Like, all right.
Yeah, you get creative quick.
These t-shirts in the back.
Shoot, look, even before then, man, a buddy of mine, we both didn't have jobs. We were both graduates, and one of the clubs, they had like free food on Friday nights. We pull up and go to the club and eat and then go home.
Oh, y'all staying for the party? Like, man, get these wings and
roll. Man, listen, that chicken was the best. They had whole pieces too, bro. It wasn't just the wings. They had whole pieces.
The whole chicken. Like, let me get that whole half of chicken rotisserie in the club. You're in the club with greasy fingers, and
I'm trying to tell you, you got to do what you got to do, bro.
Oh man, I love it. Well, that's actually hilarious. I love that. I could just picture that. And then you know what make it even better if you throw like the t-shirt in the drive-through window, like at a game, like full speed, toss it in the window.
Everybody fighting over it.
Knock their headset off. But thank you so much for that story. That's great. So look, right now, let the people know how they can be in touch with you, where they can find you, how they can listen to you. Go ahead and plug it all, man.
All right, well, we'll start by listening. I'm on Sirius XM Heart and Soul, which is on channel 48 on Sirius XM from noon to 6 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Saturday. So I'm on 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, which is a grind. So we do that. And you can connect with me. Follow me on Instagram at Cayman Kelly, CaymanKelly. That's my favorite platform too, by the way.
Okay.
I just started doing that like when the pandemic began, because social media was not my thing.
Yeah.
At all. And Facebook at Cayman Kelly. I don't do Twitter too much.
Yeah. But at Cayman Kelly.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram.
And
I know you have a lot of really dope interviews. You do the live, the Instagram live.
Yeah, I do those on Tuesday nights.
So yeah, definitely check that out. Tons of great content. Listen for them on ESPN Radio, Monday Night Football, NHL. I mean, come on, who would have thought? NHL. Come on.
Hey, come on. Hey, it's a definite blessing, man.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Well, thank you so much, Cayman, for being on the show, man. Hope you had a good time. I know I did.
I had a ball.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And everybody, thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you next time on The How Did Show. Peace.
My good brother, DC, ladies and gentlemen.
You know it.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me and having some fun as we interview some really, really interesting people. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout for more episodes of The How Did Show.